This is really important, not only for designing the tour itself, but for marketing and selling it. Hi there, Kelsey Toner here, the founder of Guest Focused Tour Business Coaching, where every day myself and our team of tour and activity business coaches are helping you build a thriving, profitable business. Welcome back to our series on how to design a tour guests will never forget. In this series, we're going to be sharing practical tools and frameworks for helping you design more memorable tours. And along the way, we're going to be sharing heaps of real-world examples and best practices. Today, we're exploring how you can design your tour activity and experience around a theme. We're going to look at 4 different types of themes that might be useful to you, as well as look at how a tour theme makes your tour more impactful and more memorable. Let's get started. A strong theme for your tour naturally creates a unique value proposition. It tells potential guests exactly what makes your tour special, who it's perfect for, what they'll get out of it, and why they should choose your experience versus other competitors or alternatives. Here's a definition of a tour theme: a clear subject or topic that's explored throughout your experience. It should be simple enough to express in a single sentence and answer the question, why are we learning about this particular topic today? A theme makes your tour design job much easier because it's going to give you guidelines for what content and stories to include, what content and stories to exclude, what stops, what type of challenges, activities, experiences are ultimately going to contribute, and which should be left to another experience. Let's go through the 4 different types of themes that will hopefully give you some inspiration when you're creating these memorable tours. First is theme as objective. Or put another way, you can have a clear goal for your tour or activity. Madrid Food Tours promises get a crash course in Spanish cuisine by tasting all of Madrid's star dishes in just one afternoon. Notice how specific this is, not just see Madrid or taste some Spanish food, but a complete culinary education in one morning. Another example might be the Berlin Street Art Workshop. The objective, well, by the end of the tour, you'll design and create your own piece of street art while discovering the city's urban art scene. Having a tour theme that's based around a goal or objective like this is absolutely fantastic for making it more memorable because it naturally sets you up for a sense of accomplishment, a sense of satisfaction when we reach the end of that tour. Secondly, you can have theme as a focus. Think of this approach of narrowing down or taking a particular perspective for your tour. Let's look at the New Zealand's Lord of the Rings tours. Epic adventures to the real Middle Earth and back again. Well, they've excluded tons of the traditional New Zealand highlights, history, cultural highlights, or the natural world to focus entirely on one passionate audience. This type of focus theme means that you can go deeper into your subject matter. You can attract enthusiast groups. You can command premium prices and become the obvious choice for that particular niche. Consider a tour like Portland's Coffee Culture, behind the scenes with master roasters. Instead of a more general market tour or food tour, this tour company has gone deep on the coffee culture scene in Portland. They're going to draw coffee enthusiasts from around the world. But also through their sales and marketing, they can also highlight that, hey, if you truly want to understand Portland and the people that live here, you've got to have it filtered through their obsession with coffee culture, the rituals and the values that surround it. As you can see, this type of very narrow focus also lends itself to be more memorable, and also that sense of satisfaction because you're going deeper into the content, not to mention tapping into what is often passion or enthusiasm of some of the guests that you'll attract. Thirdly, theme as a journey. Now, this can either be a physical or a more symbolic journey. Physical journeys like the ultimate Great Ocean Road Tour in Australia or the Road to Hana experience in Maui, Hawaii sell themselves. That physical trip is the story. But you can also create more symbolic journeys. In Prague, one Airbnb experience takes guests on a journey back in time to the days of the plague. Follow a 17th century plague doctor in costume through Prague at night, appreciating life under the Black Death like never before. The walk, the stories shared, the historic instruments act as a time machine, symbolically transporting you to another world. If you're really passionate about tour design, you can sometimes combine both the physical journey and the symbolic one as well. I remember designing tours in Burgundy, France, and we had this perfect day that was near Beaune. And essentially what we do, we started this Clos de Vougeot, where these legendary Cistercian monks had these, 800, 900-year-old wine presses. And we got to see some of the earliest technology of winemaking there in France. And then through the afternoon, we were on a bicycle, but there was additional stops. We'd learn about the Napoleonic inheritance laws in-laws that set up this patchwork of family-owned vineyards, and we'd conclude the day in a modern winemaker with all the stainless steel technology. And that was both a physical journey on our bicycle, but also that journey back in time, where each stop we were learning about the history of Burgundy winemaking. Hopefully you can see this is so much more than just a bike ride or a series of wine tastings. We really elevated that experience into something more memorable. We've got this nice sense of satisfaction if you set out on a quest or a journey, and then ultimately at the end of the tour, you can wrap things up by talking about what we've accomplished here today, what we've done, what we've seen, whether that is a physical or a symbolic journey. Fourthly is theme as story. So a tour theme can be the overarching story of a particular individual. London's Karl Marx tour doesn't just show you places, it walks you through the life of Karl Marx, whose profound ideas inspired protests, rebellions, revolutions, struggles for freedom, as well as regimes of tyrannical repression. The locations of this tour, the structure of the tour, serve the story of Karl Marx's life in London, not the other way around. Or what about Hemingway's Paris, a tour based on a writer's journey to greatness? On this experience, we follow the transformation of an unknown journalist into one of literature's greatest voices through the cafes and streets of 1920s Paris. Remember, if we're going to use story as a theme, that all great stories have one big question that is only resolved at the end of that story. That question needs to arise out of a character, a main character who's experiencing some kind of conflict, tension, and unmet desire. And over the course of the tour, as you add stops or additional stories, or maybe take in some of the sights, hopefully each of those are going to be contributing to the rising action. We're going to be adding tension, raising the stakes until ultimately we get that resolution at the end of the tour. My recommendation, if you want to have an overarching story, is that you ground it in a very specific individual. It certainly doesn't have to be a grand historical figure like Ernest Hemingway or Karl Marx. It could be someone living in the city of Vancouver here today, or a peasant from a particular time period. Sometimes tours will try to do things like, hey, we're going to tell the story of Little Italy, or we're going to tell the story of a city like Hong Kong. Keep in mind that a story has to have a main character, and that main character has to be human. We can sometimes anthropomorphize a city so that it kind of behaves like a human being, but this is really challenging to do. A much more safer bet or best practice would be to have a very specific main character that's going to be the focus of your tour. You're going to follow them on their quest. You're going to learn about their challenge, their unmet desire, their ambitions, and then ultimately have them be representative of maybe that city or of that larger movement, not the other way around. So let's quickly review those 4 powerful ways you can use a tour theme when designing a tour. The first, theme is objective. Make a clear promise about what guests will learn, master, or achieve during your experience. The entire tour should revolve around this goal. 2, theme as a focus. Choose one specific topic or aspect of your destination and explore it deeply, excluding everything else. Typically here we have a niche market in mind or a clear value proposition as to why this limited focus is so powerful or meaningful. Thirdly, theme as a journey. Create either a physical journey through your destination or a symbolic journey through time or through an important transformation. 4, theme as story. Build your entire experience and all of the content on your tour activity experience around a single overarching narrative with a clear character, with clear conflict, and ultimately a resolution. Designing a tour or experience for our fellow human beings is why many of us got into this. It can be a creative joy to have some of these limitations or frameworks when approaching your tour content. So keep in mind, no matter which of these that you choose, we should be able to express our tour theme in one clear sentence. This is really important, not only for designing the tour itself, but for marketing and selling. A strong and clear tour theme is going to help us decide what to include, what to exclude. It's going to help that unique value proposition. It's going to help differentiate you from competitors, and if done well, will give that nice sense of satisfaction at the end of your tour's activities and experiences. If you'd like to access more of our resources on how to design, market, and sell a highly profitable tour, we'd love to hear from you. You can book a free call with one of our coaches. It's a 45-minute strategy call where we'll geek out with you on the tour that you've got in mind and how we can turn it into a best-selling product. Before you go, I'd love to hear from you in the comments down below. Is there a tour theme that you are really proud of? Are there best practices or tips you'd like to share with the community? And as always, if you found this video useful, it would mean the world to us if you would share it with a friend or a colleague. That's really how we grow our channel and get the word out that we're out here doing what we do. Thanks so much for being here, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.